I want to be the very best channel on YouTube, and that is what you're watching. Hello everyone, welcome to Fandom Pop, again the greatest channel on this platform, and today we are diving deep on probably the most serious, the biggest, most important movie of this year, of this decade. Our grandkids will be talking about the historic film of Detective Pikachu. So this film is about a talking mouse that, after suffering from amnesia, goes on a detective mission to find out the secrets of some bullshit sci-fi. I don't know how anyone is taking this. This is a real movie. This is something that they put in theaters. Millions of people saw it. It like had merchandise and all these other. There's like online. Like this happened. We, as a society, decided that Pokemon, the main mascot dude, should have like a detective movie. I don't know a fucking planet I am on. But regardless, I knew I was going to see this movie day one. I saw the trailer. This was the weirdest hype for any movie I've ever seen. When I first saw this movie, I was like, what is that? It was very similar to the Sonic the Hedgehog reaction that's going on right now, only it's not like just gross and vomit inducing. It was more just like we didn't understand what we were seeing. It was like a fucking meme trailer, and then it started to become a real thing. More trailers came out. I actually was warming up to some of the designs to these Pokemon, and ultimately when I went into the theater, I kind of expected it to be good. I gave it a fair chance, and I was pleasantly satisfied for like what this thing could have been. This could have been fucking Dragon Ball Evolution, Last Airbender, fucking Kim Possible movie or some shit. That's what this could have been. This could have been the Death Note Netflix film, but for Pokemon, but it wasn't, and I'll tell you why. First off, we gotta lay down the groundwork. We gotta lay out the bases. This film takes place in Rhyme City, which I enjoy the setting for this film. Instead of, you know, all the regions we've come to know from Pokemon, it's kind of like we expected it to be from the first region, and you lock the first 150 Pokemon, and they very easily could have done that, but that's not what they decided to do here. We actually see a lot of Pokemon from different regions show up here. It definitely has that Gen 1, 2 basis, which I'm not upset that it has that, because I fucking don't want to see a lot of the later Pokemon, and that's from somebody who's played every single game. I would rather focus, and if we're giving Pokemon this big movie spotlight, I'd rather it be featured on some of the actual first Gen 1 and 2 Pokemons, which are the most prominent, and we'll talk more about the designs here in a little bit. But before I tackle that, I wanted to talk about Rhyme City more, because this is a city pretty much where, instead of having your 6 Pokemon and a fucking laptop filled with all the other ones, you instead have like a Pokemon partner. It's definitely emphasized that you have a one-on-one Pokemon partner, and like that immediately, like, it put my brain on blast, and I was like, what fucking, if I had to pick one Pokemon, who would my partner be? I chose Dragonite. Dragonite can fly, and he's my spirit animal. Well, what's your Pokemon? Leave that down below. Ha ha ha. Anyway, so I don't know if this movie is like trying to raise the question that putting Pokemon in Pokeballs and kind of just bringing them out like they're summoning jutsus. Maybe that's not like the best idea. Like maybe there's something morally wrong with that. Like what if he's just taking a shit and then he has to get summoned for a fight? Like you don't know what he's doing in that Pokeball unless it's just some kind of weird stasis. That seems more fucked up. He doesn't have existence beyond fighting. Either, no matter what. Even N from the Pokemon games brought this crucial overlaying idea within this universe that, hey, this is all kind of fucked up, isn't it? So this movie touching upon that definitely did not help, but like it made for a cool setting, so who really cares? But anyway, so the Pokemon in this movie are very centered around the first 2 gens, I would say, but they definitely have some more popping in here and there. I definitely could tell some people were like head scratching at a couple of the Pokemon here and there, and I was like, that's a fucking Trico. How do you not know what a Trico is? These fucking normies that don't play kid games, like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Anyway, A lot of the Pokemon that show up in this movie, in all honesty, look pretty bad. I was very open in the trailers because Pikachu, he looks passable, he looks cute, he kind of has his own cool little sleek design. This movie, like when it tries to look gritty, I think just looks stupid. But there are some moments for Pikachu in specific where he just kind of looks like a cute live action Pikachu, and it works. And a lot of the other, like a lot of the colors in this movie could have been, you know, lively. It's Pokemon. I'm trying to have a fucking easy-go-lucky adventure. I'm not trying to have a more detective, gritty side of it, but I get why they did it. But a lot of the Pokemon, like the first Pokemon, one of them that you see in this movie is Lickitung, and he's supposed to be gross, and he appears that way. And I know that I've seen a lot of darker, grittier Pokemon designs. The guy who made this had like an internet series where he's putting out pictures of Pokemon who look like this. I also saw like this Pokemon live action trailer. It was like Pokemon Apocalypse or something like that by Mega Steak Man, shout out. And in that trailer, all the Pokemon designs look really similar to this, but like that was for a dark, gritty Pokemon adventure. I don't know why we have a fun, lighthearted adventure about Pokemon and we're not going to take advantage of it. Like this is a bright, colorful universe with characters who are in all shapes and sizes imaginable with all kinds of interesting powers, and they have battles and competitions and trade, and it can go deep, man. And for some reason we're stuck in like these weird design choices, and some of them actually look pretty cool, but for a lot of these Pokemon, I'm at the theater watching Pokemon and I just want something more than this ugly ass fucking Psyduck who just screams all the time. That's my thought on the designs. You know, some Pokemon just don't look like they should be in live action. When you look at Mewtwo in this film and he has like this weird crotchy area where he, you know, he's supposed to look human-ish, but he's also supposed to look like a fucking alien-ass Pokemon. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. And again, you just could make this easier if it was more of like a animated style for what they were going for. But like, if you can make Roger Rabbit look good next to humans, and you can make a Mewtwo look good next to humans. But this film looks very poor CGI at times. But I will say that I think there is a love for the source material in this film. I don't think it's completely there. I think there's a lot of pandering to some areas and a lot of expectations to not understand Pokemon at times, and some other times there is an expectation. For instance, Pokemon evolution is obviously a big thing. It's not really addressed in this movie, but it exists in this universe, and it's never really explained. So I was kind of like happy for little moments like that. Hey, you kind of like know that I live in the 21st century and you know that I know how Pokemon work. But at other times it was like holding my hand and like it was just baby talking me. I just had different writers making different scenes and I could visibly feel it. And I'll be honest, a lot of the film could have been a lot better, but it was still a fun, enjoyable experience, mostly just because of Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. And when I watched the trailers, I basically thought that Pikachu was going to be like a PG Deadpool who also is like cute and adorable at times, and that's exactly what Ryan Reynolds was as Pikachu. Detective Pikachu could have been a Danny DeVito, and it could have been this really weirder comedy, and I honestly think that would fit the tone of this film better. But what they did capture was actually a very funny character, a very likable character, and I'm happy with what they did with it. However, I will say the third act of this film just completely falls apart, not just writing wise, but like the act as a whole. A lot of the moments that needed to happen really happened. Like the ending of this film I like. The people know what I'm talking about, the big Ryan Reynolds scene. I really like that scene. Part of the bad guy's like thought process of what he wants. However, the execution is terrible. The hoax, that the red herring that they try to throw at you, all that garbage. I didn't care a lot about the sci-fi mechanic that they introduced with Mewtwo. Mewtwo being in this film I like. However, a lot of the Mewtwo's character that was in the original film is not there at all. And a lot of what they try to introduce with him is not really that interesting either. He's just kind of there. Somehow the anime and the games were able to paint Mewtwo as like a mystique, legendary creature, and this film just kind of seemed to be able to be like, oh, you know, he's the strongest Pokemon, and that's all that really mattered about him. And like, they talked about how he's the clone of Mew, but without even explaining what Mew was. Like, make Mewtwo a little bit more important than that. He was just kind of like this genetically bred sci-fi freak creature when he could have been so much more than that. He is more than that. However, I am gonna say that they have little moments like that where they say Mewtwo is the strongest creature, but Arceus is even mentioned in this film, and that's what I'm talking about, where it feels like it's made by two different people, two different Pokemon fans at that. And maybe Arceus is like a god-like vague figure in this universe, and Mewtwo obviously is not, and that's why he's proclaiming him as the strongest, even though he's not been for like years. But you can see what I'm saying with this film. It kind of just falls apart in some areas within the Pokemon universe, and that's why it's not great. This could have been a great Pokemon movie and not a great movie, and I would have been happy with it. But somehow it kind of falls in between that and an actual good movie. Let me be clear. This movie is trash, but so am I. I like this film. If this was like an actual review by an actual film critic, I would not be praising this film. A lot of people who are ripping this film apart, I get it. I don't disrespect what you're doing. You're just going through the world with your eyes, and I'm going through the world with my eyes. And I like Dragon Ball and Kingdom Hearts and all these other trashy media that it's dear to my heart and falls apart when you put it on the cutting board. But god damn it, does it taste fucking splendid. It's satisfactory. It's magnifique. And Detective Pikachu is almost that. However, they made a lot of weird choices, and I don't think it's going to be a film that actually like stands the test of time. I would still rather watch a bunch of other Pokemon movies, or I'd rather watch better animated or even CGI meets human crossover movies. It's just not a film I see myself revisiting. However, I do think it is memorable. I do think it was a fun time. Detective Pikachu gets a 7 out of 10. And that's what I thought of that. Oh, I didn't even talk about Justice Smith or his lady friend. Both of them were not good actors. Like, I think they had character moments, but they were not portrayed good. Anyway, that is what I thought of Detective Pikachu. Again, what is your Pokemon? Who is your spirit animal? Let me know down below. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching as always. And with that, I leave you. I've done the salute like 3 times now. What the fuck is wrong with me? Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
It turns out right, but I'm better off alone. What I'm saying all alone, and I'm feeling like